Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to another episode of Newsround for Anfield Index. It is Monday, the 29th of December, only a few days left of this year, isn't it? 2025 has just blown past. 1,000,001 things have happened. It's also only a few days until that January transfer window opens. And obviously, we got some recent developments, didn't we, yesterday into the evening. We've also got set-piece situations. We've got Liverpool back in the Champions League slots. We have got 1,000,001 things to talk about this morning. I'm your host, Dave Davis, coming to you from... It's just cold, but it's still in Edinburgh. That's the way I described it. Fingers crossed it is a little bit nicer in the world wherever you are. But we'll get into it. We'll be talking set pieces. We'll be talking Semenyo. We'll be talking star performances. There's a load of things to get stuck into. But we always ask this question at the start of News Round. How are we? And it's a mixed bag, isn't it? Because when you look at Liverpool's recent run and 3 on the bounce in the league, is it 6 unbeaten now, I think, in all competitions, if I'm right? It could look, or should, I suppose, feel a lot more positive from some. But at the same time, it doesn't quite feel that way, does it? With the set pieces, the football we're playing, the nature of everything doesn't quite seem there. But on Saturday, people, what we got a reminder of more than anything is, again, in this year, some things, to be honest, are just a bit more important than football. And Diogo Jota's partner posted there, didn't she? From the bottom of my heart, thank you to the club and to all the fans for the love, respect and support shown during this incredibly difficult time. Your messages and gestures have meant more than words can express. And it was emotional on Saturday. I was there that when you saw the Jota family get a round of applause headed into the main stand, when you saw the mascots, with his children coming out, all those bits, warming up with Van Dijk, it was just emotional. You could see all around. You'll never walk alone, interrupted for the applause. The Wolves fans on 18 minutes, us on 20 minutes. I'm sure you've all seen the incredible videos that Liverpool have put out at the same time as well. You'd challenge anyone not to be moved by those. So sometimes you always get a good reminder of what's important. In terms of the football, again, because it stays back to how are we? Think how crap we've been at times this season. Yet the Reds are in 4th spot. The Reds are in the Champions League places on 32 points. 3 ahead of Chelsea on 29. That is absolutely mental, isn't it? Looks like it could. I'm not sure. It will be a 3-way fight for the title. That, unfortunately, is just none of our business. But Liverpool are in the Champions League spots and will start the New Year's game against Leeds in those, won't they? Which is absolutely insane. And you think back to Saturday and what we saw. It was all good till half-time, wasn't it? Yeah, it's Wolves and they've got 2 points, blah, blah, blah. But get past that for a second. We saw some nice football, didn't we? We saw Jeremy Frimpong get into the byline and cutting back a beauty for Ryan Gravenberch, giving him 2 assists in 2 games. You saw Florian Wirtz absolutely dominating this and getting his first Liverpool goal, because obviously they took that one off him against Sunderland. And just when you saw his stats from this game as well, most chances created with 3, most dribbles completed with 7, most duels won with 11, both his tackles won, gets the winner. Just a different level to every player. And there was a good stat, wasn't there, from the weekend? Most chances created by Premier League summer signings this season. He's joint top with Jack Grealish. Never thought you'd be referencing someone from the boot camp, would you, there as well? But you've just seen recently, he's racking up these man of the matches now, Florian Wirtz, isn't he? He was brilliant against Spurs again in one of those performances, and brilliant in this one again in one of those performances. It seems to be coming sort of the standard. Liverpool aren't the best. You've got concerns about many things, but you're praising Florian Wirtz. That seems to be the way of the world at the moment, doesn't it? And as Mr. 365 boy said, we need to push for third, don't want to risk fourth and lose out in the last game. No doubts, we want to get as high as possible, but yeah, there is other things to consider. And Rob Tim's there saying perhaps Slot should stay in the dugout at half time. Yeah, we'll be talking about the second half and that in the mix when we get into the worrying section. But let's just keep those positive feels going for the morning. How good was this man again as well? Curtis Jones. Most passes completed, 105. 3 tackles won, 2 fouls won. Most passes into the final third from midfield with 13 and most recoveries with 15. That left side is looking tidy right now, isn't it? Obviously, Van Dijk's the left-sided centre-back. Kirkes will push up a little bit and almost Jones comes in between them to almost help progress it. But that Kirkes-Jones, Florian Wirtz combo on the left-hand side, that's why most of our attacks are coming down that side at the moment, aren't they? It just looks good there. It looks settled. And it's not about bagging on a player or saying, picking on anyone a little bit. But I bet like me, you're thinking, don't just put Gakpo back in there. Because obviously there's not the relationship with Kirkes. The balance of the team, which is what Arne Slot's talked about repeatedly, for all the things that are wrong with it, it looks right on the left-hand side, doesn't it? So I would like to see that just kept that way for as long as possible. But we'll see what happens, eh? And talking about other players, we got this yesterday as well. I mean, Liverpool centre-back situation's known, isn't it? Leone out for the season, the Gomez hamstring, we didn't get Gay. We'll talk about him again, of course we will. But thinking, well, we've only got 2 fit centre-backs. And then we had the thing, didn't we, all week, where we didn't see Canate in the Christmas or any of the training photos. And then Romano tweeted late last night, didn't he, saying, Canate did not expect to be involved in yesterday's game at all after being ill all week. Only trained for the first time on Friday after his hamstring injury. He still played the full 90 minutes to honour Diogo Jota and his family. And if you saw Ibu's social media post, he did say about, how important this was. If there was one game he wasn't going to miss, it was this one. So, we showed fair play to Ibu. Clearly not fully fit, not fully well, but did the business. Although, how telling's this then? Liverpool have got what? 1.5 fit centre-backs? And people will say, the cover options. Well, Gravenberch dropping in there with Robert. Endo's into it. Just looks bad all of a sudden, doesn't it? We are so threadbare at centre-back. It is absolutely unreal. So for all the talk over Semenyo and all the bits which we will update on, get a centre-back in is surely the priority of the window. But facing back to this one a little bit, as David Lynch tweeted here, much like at Spurs, I think a lot of Liverpool fans will come away from this with a negative feeling based on the latter stages, both on occasions that should have been avoided by not conceding a set piece. They are truly dreadful at them and something needs to be done. Yeah, it does. I said it yesterday. We've used this word before. For me, Aaron Briggs' position is untenable now. We're the worst in the league at set pieces, attacking-wise and defensively. We're horrific at them. And you can see now just the alarm it causes. I mean, bugger me, we conceded against Spurs with 9 men from a set piece. This one on Saturday as well. It's a pretty nothingy game in the second half. And then this goes in, that set piece for Wolves, and it's fire at the disco, isn't it, type of stuff. Everyone's head is just on fire. Yeah, the set pieces we've got to fix. We'll talk about them a little bit more. But as Rob Timms mentioned there, Slot staying in the dugout at half time. Remember how last season Slot was so good at his second half changes and how he lined everything up? Look at, as Andy Beasley put out yesterday, the Reds have now been 2-0 up at half-time in 4 league games at Anfield. And they've lost the second half every time. Yeah. It shows, I think, how far it's turned around for Arne Slot that, we used to be almost, I think, the best last season at those second half tweaks and substitutions. But now it's a shit show in the second half, isn't it? Especially when those set pieces get flying. And you've got to look at the manager's door. Honestly, it's weird, isn't it? We would again, but there is things to be concerned about. And even the skipper was quite honest. Anyone clock his comments yesterday after the game about our failure to keep control, saying it's something we have to improve. It's about training and using our experiences to get better at dealing with situations like Saturday. We will analyse and speak about it. I know it sounds easy, but it's a difficult thing to do. It's a process and we have to keep trying to do it. If it was easy, then we would have sorted it already. No one's saying it is easy at all, not for 1 single second. But when Liverpool are repeatedly losing second halves at Anfield, when Liverpool are repeatedly giving up shit set piece goals, when Liverpool have had plenty of time on the training ground now, that excuse is gone, hasn't it? Because there's big gaps between the games. And Arne Slot had mentioned in press conference that, yeah, we've got the opportunity to now work on things. Did we see it on Saturday? If you did, maybe you're watching a different game to me, because there was good bits. It's not all bad. And of course we won. It's not just about all being negative, but I understand what people are talking about, the concerns there around set pieces, the nature of the football. It is still a little bit of zero-sum football, isn't it? And sort of nick it, keep it tight. It is there. And this one, honestly, it's like Groundhog Day, but you can't get away from talking about set pieces. You think I'm talking about it, oh, it's just me. Well, think again. Because Virgil was speaking about it after the game, wasn't he? Saying, the fact is we conceded too many set piece goals and we don't score enough. It's about repetition, training, analysing. It's something we have to improve. I'd say at least 75% of the time or even more. It's not about the first contact. It's the second phase that is the killer. We've defended so many set pieces very well, but the fact is we conceded too many goals like that and it hurts. We have to improve that. Mental to think as well that the Reds have got, genuinely serious on this when you see the stats, the Reds have got the best aerial win rate in the Premier League. Insane, isn't it, really, to think about it that way? And maybe it is second phases, but Arne Slot talked about it, which we'll see afterwards as well. It's just, I just think it's untenable, the situation for Aaron Briggs. I'm struggling to put it any other way, because as Andy Beasley, just be factual on this, put it, no team in Europe's big 5 leagues has conceded more set plays than the Reds this season. Liverpool are level with Bournemouth on 12. 12 set-piece goals we've conceded. How bad is that? We also know how bad we are from attacking set pieces. You've got the head coach talking about it. You've got the captain repeatedly talking about it as well. How bad does it have to kind of get for Aaron Briggs to keep his role? And you're saying, oh, no, not everyone's talking about it. Just listen to Arne Slot about it after the game as well.
I think scoring goals in the Premier League is not easy. I mean, than in open play. And I see this almost every single game I watch because the amount of set-piece goals scored gets more and more and more. Unfortunately, we're maybe the only team that hardly ever scores from a set-piece. And even worse, we constantly concede. But then, I think I said 2, 3, 4 weeks ago that we have to make sure if things go against us, could be set piece, could be other things.
And then he starts talking about the game, but he's honest that that's the manager saying that. We hardly ever score from set pieces and we concede all the time. 12, as Andy Beasley said. I mean, you think of that swing from what it was last season, it partly explains where we are. Well, a large part explains where we are as well. Arne Slot's been honest of how much the game is set pieces, and Liverpool are terrible at them. Surely something's got to change. Yeah? And I know Mr. 365 boy saying it's not just from set pieces, we lose second balls all over the pitch. We talked about that, haven't we? The lack of physicality within the side. There's many a thing that are going to be solved and probably have to be solved by cold, hard cash and bringing players in. Well, the one thing that did get a little bit better, I mean, Hugo Ekitike's been in red hot form, hasn't he, recently? And he gets another assist. And this was the embargo, if you missed it, from Boxing Day. So sometimes, because Slot was talking about Ekitike, it sometimes takes me a bit of convincing that this is all actually needs to become stronger. But he always did it, and not always with a smile on his face. But he's worked really hard to get fitter and fitter and fitter on and off the pitch. I've tried to convince him as well that the better you defend a set piece, the bigger the chance to have you score at the other end. If you're 0-0, it's easier to score a goal than when you are 1-0 down. Got them all doing work, isn't he? We've heard that Florian Wirtz has put, is it 2 kilograms of muscle on? You hear Arne Slot talking about Ekitike. It's taken a bit of time for them all, but it's absolutely zero coincidence now that when you look at the players who, put on the muscle, been told about the gym work, Ekitike and Wirtz carry the attacking threat right now for us, don't they? They are absolutely crucial. So it's taken a bit of time, but, the signings, even Kirkes, I think you've got to be fair, has started to look a bit more settled, although it's like a wind-up toy after the 65th minute, isn't he? He goes, just insane. But the overall performances, like the Brighton, the Minter one, have got better from the new signings. And it's important to name-check this man as well, isn't it? Because Jeremy Frimpong talked before the game saying, I think it's really important to maintain momentum. Obviously, we play football to win, and obviously right now we are in a good mood. 3 wins in a row, and hopefully we can just keep that going. But we know how difficult every game is, so we've got to keep the mindset and just focus on every game. Looking good, Jeremy Frimpong, though, isn't he? 2 assists in 2 games, one for Hugo Ekitike, one for Ryan Gravenberch in this one against Wolves. I think Arne Slot mentioned it. I don't know if you clocked it afterwards as well in the post-match press conference, talking about, especially against low blocks, Jeremy Frimpong gives us something different. Easily the fastest player, the only one to have clocked over 36 kmh this season. Just the ability to just, stand. I can't think of any other way. Stand that defender up, blitz past them and get a cross in, or a bit of trickery even, or a cutback like against Spurs. Yeah, it was lucky with a deflection, but he makes it happen, doesn't he? Now, he's no Jacob Murphy. Don't get upset when I say that. But Liverpool have a player that seems to be putting in the ball from wide. And quite often he likes to get to the byline, isn't it? And people are saying, this, is not really too much. Don't forget, Jeremy Frimpong's also created 2 big chances this season, which Cody Gakpo has missed 2 point-blank headers. Do you remember the United one? And I can't remember the other one, who it was as well. But Forest, I think it was, wasn't it? Who cares anyway? But Jeremy Frimpong, starting to have an impact. So you've got to give it that for the signings a little bit. It's just started to elevate for them, is the word I'm going to use. And talking of signings, transfer talk, isn't it? And these players, because how mad was this that just before Christmas, we kind of like, that's that. Ornstein tweeted, Semenyo's preference is to join City in January. Nothing formal, but favours there, United. And we're all like, okay, that's done. We'll move on to the next one. Nothing really kicking around. And from the patch journalists, you didn't really had too many of them commenting, to be fair. Many of them, it's important to say, just kept their powder dry. But then you got also James Pearce saying Liverpool might have any, but his preference is to join City. Liverpool don't expect Mo Salah to leave in January, so there won't be a space to fill. I.e. that City had the talks with Semenyo. Liverpool had not made any real type of move yet. Yeah, everyone knows they had the initial discussions, but no proper move. So we kind of thought that would be it. And also Romano had tweeted, hadn't he, just before Christmas, that obviously Hugo Viana trying to get it done. Liverpool monitoring what he said. So that was the story, really, up until yesterday. And I see this, people like, Roman Buck already still joining City, think our name has been brought into it to push it through quicker. That's not the info I've got. And we'll be talking about this a little bit more on the transfer show. And there is one big question that people should be asking themselves, but we'll get to that shortly. And then in other terms of that deal sheet from the Athletic saying Liverpool are interested in Mark Guéhi, but a January move is doubtful. Liverpool have the freedom to react in the market if needed, but will likely stick with what they have. So it wasn't too cheery about transfers, was it, realistically, in terms of, well, Semenyo's going to City, there's nothing for Guéhi. And as that Athletic deal sheet had, which, most people were, a lot of people were up in arms at, that Liverpool were probably not going to do any business, that they're going to go with what they have. But as he said last week, that is the public line. Liverpool are never going to come out with the details they want until they're ready to strike. We know that. We know that's how they do business. And yesterday, there was a few articles that came out, wasn't there? Yesterday evening time. Jack G from the Daily Mail had, there's an expectation at Bournemouth that Liverpool will become serious suitors for Antoine Semenyo. Liverpool have not yet moved to rival City for his signature, but there's growing belief on the South Coast that Sporting Director Richard Hughes may be considering another approach. So it was kind of like that Braveheart meme a little bit, wasn't it? Like, hold, just see what happens. And then Mike McGrath for the Telegraph also had a story out that Bournemouth are braced for Liverpool to rival Man City for Antoine Semenyo. His 65 million release clause becomes active on Thursday. Woofed. And exactly like Zilulu Bear saying, like that meme, so you're telling me there's a chance, like Jim Carrey. Seems that way, isn't it? It's important to say, just to be clear, that Liverpool have made no move yet, which Manchester City have. But that doesn't mean, it's important to say, it's the end of the tail. It's really important to say that. Of course, doesn't mean Semenyo goes to Liverpool. But Romano also had the update, didn't we? Remember, he said Liverpool were just monitoring. Yesterday evening, City will talk again with Bournemouth to try and get Semenyo deal wrapped up. They remain confident after verbal agreement with Semenyo, despite the calls from Liverpool since November. Look at that for a cheeky little horny line. ... And again last week. Fabrizio knows exactly what he's doing there, doesn't it? So that was up until last night. That brings us up to date with that scenario, doesn't it? So people were like, okay, are we then? So is a possibility we're going to move. We haven't moved yet. It's important to say that's the public bit. And it's also important to say that TalkSport and Alex Crook said that, Liverpool are not going to move for Semenyo. All I would say on that is Alex Crook always had the best Bournemouth news, and was always the first with Bournemouth news, and it was always well connected with a certain sporting director. I think we all know on that. So which sporting director would want to play down any potential move for Antoine Semenyo? Maybe one to think about there. Now, also, it's still going on, isn't it? Because people are going, oh, it's over, forget it again, done, wrap it up, get the bunting down. Because it came out this morning, didn't it, about an hour ago now or so. I think Manchester City have opened talks with Bournemouth to negotiate the finer points of Semenyo's release clause. As it says there from their senior reporter, begun talks to negotiate the finer points. It's funny how the phrasing's all the same, isn't it? Of a release clause. Discussions expected to progress this week with Semenyo's representatives, all also during Manchester, to finalise personal terms. And Indy, the goat, he had that Semenyo's agent is in a hotel in Manchester as well. I said about a question, didn't I? It's not trying to be like, ooh, cryptic or anything like that. But if Manchester City have got it all sewn up, as, David Ornstein's didn't say that, but his reporting led people to believe that this is a done, Semenyo's picked it. Why maybe the rush now all of a sudden? Why maybe trying to get this done rapido? I think we all know it's because of who might, and I say might because we don't know for definite, come in. Antoine Semenyo might well still end up at Manchester City, but it's now not a surprise if Liverpool do make a move. And people will say, oh, no, it's too late. Well, it's never too late because all Liverpool need to do is wait until City agree a deal, find out what it is, and like the Luis Diaz situation, do you remember that with Spurs? Copy the homework or beat it or trade. Plus, there's another bit that me and Trev have got a line on that we're doing some digging and hopefully to bring it tonight. It is also important to say in all of this, dependent on where Semenyo ends up, so this is a dependent one, but Indies had all throughout the last few months, Liverpool are favourites to sign Antoine Semenyo in January. And Mr. 365 boy saying that, surely his agent would listen to both camps. Of course he is. From our info, Semenyo's agents played an absolute blinder here, trying to bring all parties to the table, get all sorts of deals lined up. And either way, he's going to secure his client a massive move. He's played a blinder for them as well. Indy also had this, it's important to say, last night. Semenyo wants Liverpool to make a confirmed bid for him. Liverpool's payment plan is weak compared to Manchester City at this moment in time. And a bit with the phrasing of that, it's important to say, Liverpool have not made a quote-unquote confirmed bid for Antoine Semenyo. But to be honest, it's what? Monday the 29th of December. We shouldn't have to wait too long for this to unfold a little bit more and come to a resolution in the near future as well. Now, for all this, I'm going to be honest, it's going to be like, yeah, Semenyo, pace and all that, plays on both wings. I get it, we've got 1.5 fit centre halves. Surely we're all thinking like there's bigger priorities in the team. And if we've got 65 million to spend right now, surely. And this was out from Sky last night, wasn't it? Crystal Palace believe Liverpool are the only club looking to sign Mark Gay for a fee in January, and clubs around Europe are queuing up to sign the England international on a free. Now, again, we've said this before on the transfer show. I mean, David have said this. David Ornstein, Paul Joyce, many people have said it, Liverpool are not planning to move. The only bit that we got on the transfer show, as we said last time, is that City had also reached out to Palace to see what it would take for Mark Gay to move in January. I'm not sure they'll, get any positive reaction. But again, if anything does move with that, you wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool made their own move. But with that coming from, try not to be, let's just be factual. Just think that comes from Sky Sports News, who also owns Sky Bet. Just always keep that in mind when you see a Sky Sports News story. That's all I'm saying. There has been a few other links as well in the last week, hasn't there? You've had Goncalo Ramos on a 6-month loan from PSG. That came up as well. And to be honest, I think like me, it's strange the amount of attacking or winger links. Like anyone for a centre-back, anyone for a DM, anyone for a progressive defender, all these types of things. That's what we're starting to think. But doesn't seem to be any real movement just now on this for January. We will have to see, won't we? In terms of other news that results to Liverpool, the Egyptian king, he is in action today, isn't he, for Egypt against Angola. However, maybe not, because as Ismail Mahmoud, and shout out to him, had put out, they are expected to rest the go. And of course, I think they won the first two, didn't they? Mo Salah's got the winner in both. The Egyptian king being rested. We are not sad to hear that at all. We hope that is absolutely true. In terms of other little bits for you as well, just looking at scanning on AI, as you can see, a lot of it relates to transfer talk, doesn't it? Which should start ramping up because the Reds are not back in action until New Year's Day, 5:30. Anfield. which I'm going to. I'm looking forward. We'll see what state I'm in as well. We'll see what state everyone's in on the ground on New Year's Day. Always an interesting one. But it's a bit weird at the moment, isn't it? Liverpool are winning a lot of games, but I'd be lying if I said there was a positive feel amongst the fan base. A lot of the new signings are starting to perform. There's been some great goals scored recently. But it's not an overall positive picture for many, isn't it? Maybe just keep winning and see what happens from there, eh? But Semenyo, set pieces, there's a lot of things we'll probably be talking about again and again in the near future. On Monday, the 29th of December, that was another news round for Anfield Index.